Sometimes skyscraper concepts cross the line from ambitious to completely unbelievable. Today, we're diving into the tallest mega towers ever proposed, too extreme to make the cut. We'll look at the skyscraper meant to make the Empire State Building look small, the developers who swore they could build the world's tallest tower in just 90 days, and the mind-bending structure so tall it required a vertical bullet train as its elevator. Which one do you think pushed the limits too far? And why were they never built? Number 5. The India Tower. Starting with the smallest first, our first skyscraper takes us to Mumbai, India, a rapidly growing global city missing one thing, a defining landmark. Paris already had the Eiffel Tower. New York had the Statue of Liberty. Dubai had the Burj Al Arab. And Mumbai wanted its own icon. In 2008, developers revealed their answer, the India Tower, originally planned at 301 meters tall, but only 2 years later, Sami 1 doubled down, literally, and the height ballooned to 707 meters, instantly placing it among the tallest towers ever conceived. Designed by Foster and Partners, the tower's spiraling futuristic form was meant to symbolize India's rise as a modern economic power. It would include a VIP level, panoramic observation decks on the 93rd and 94th floors, and a tuned mass damper system like the ones used in Taipei 101 and Shanghai Tower to stabilize it against powerful winds. But ambition quickly collided with reality. Local officials argued the skyscraper was simply too tall for the neighborhood and began a legal battle with developers. After years of back and forth, construction finally began in 2010, only for the project to run into a new problem: the economy. India's once booming growth started to stall just as construction began. Budgets tightened, costs rose, developers ran out of money. By 2011, authorities froze work entirely, leaving behind nothing but a foundation. 2 years later, the investors walked away, and India Tower became another casualty of the 2008 to 2012 global development slowdown. A smaller replacement plan, two 60-story towers, was proposed, but that project collapsed too. Locals in the media gave the site a nickname, the Jinxed Lot, and after more than a decade of failed attempts, the nickname still fits. Number 4. Sky City, China. In 2012, a Chinese construction firm made a bold announcement to the world with absolute confidence. Not only would they build the tallest skyscraper in the world, they would do so in just 90 days. Not 9 years. 90 days. The tower, called Sky City, was planned at 838 meters, a full 10 meters taller than the Burj Khalifa, which took 6 years to construct. So how did they expect to build it so fast? Prefabrication. According to the developers, most of the building would be assembled in factories and then stacked on site like architectural Lego bricks. It was modular construction taken to an extreme no one had ever seen before. The plans called for 220 floors, housing for 30,000 people, earthquake resistance up to magnitude 9, triple glazed exterior walls, and construction costs far lower than traditional skyscrapers. If true, this would have changed the entire housing industry overnight. Construction was supposed to begin in November 2012, but November passed, then December, then January. Soon, journalists began calling the company for updates, and suddenly, the once very talkative developers weren't talking at all. By 2015, the future tallest building in the world was nothing but a giant flooded pit. Locals turned it into fish farms and watermelon fields, using the access roads meant for construction to transport crops instead of materials. Sky City went from global fascination to a quiet disappearance. Number 3. Azerbaijan Tower. In 2010, businessman Ibrahim Ibrahimov boarded a flight from Dubai to Baku and had a vision. If Dubai could transform itself with skyscrapers and artificial islands, why couldn't Azerbaijan do the same? By the time his flight landed 3 hours later, he had sketched out a blueprint for a completely new city. A chain of 55 artificial islands in the Caspian Sea called the Khazar Islands, with one centerpiece Azerbaijan Tower, planned at 1,050 meters tall, taller than the Burj Khalifa, taller than the proposed Jeddah Tower. At the time, it would have been the tallest building humanity had ever attempted. Ibrahimov told reporters the tower alone would cost $3 billion. The islands? Nearly $100 billion. And he confidently said that if anyone tried to build something taller, he would simply design something even taller. But Baku's economy, heavily dependent on oil, collapsed after global oil prices plunged in 2015. Suddenly, the project's financing evaporated. That same year, Ibrahimov attempted to flee the country over an unpaid $57 million loan related to the islands. He was arrested before boarding the plane. In 2019, when the tower was supposed to be completed, the government instead commissioned a feasibility study asking what to do with the half-developed artificial land. Today, the islands remain empty. Azerbaijan's chance to outshine Dubai never materialized. Number 2, the Illinois. Long before Burj Khalifa, long before super tall or mega tall buildings, and decades before computing or advanced wind modeling, there was Frank Lloyd Wright. And he had a skyscraper idea so radical that even now, almost 70 years later, it feels unbelievable. In 1956, Wright proposed the Illinois, a mile-high skyscraper reaching 1.6 kilometers into the sky, with 528 floors and 76 elevators. To prevent elevator congestion, Wright even suggested building landing pads for over 100 helicopters. He envisioned a building that wasn't in a city, but a building that was a city, complete with residences, offices, hotels, and entertainment. Most developers dismissed it as fantasy, but hidden in the design was something important: a 3-lobed structural system inspired by the root structure of tall trees. This concept, a central triangular core tapering upward, eventually influenced the structural system used in the Burj Khalifa. Decades later, Wright never lived to see super tall skyscrapers become reality. But in a way, part of his imagination did. Number 1, Dubai City Tower. Finally, we arrive at what may be the most extreme skyscraper concept ever proposed. Dubai City Tower, a vertical metropolis planned at 2,400 meters tall, nearly 3 times the height of the Burj Khalifa. To put that into perspective, if you stacked 7 Eiffel Towers on top of each other, you'd still be short. At this height, normal elevators wouldn't work, so the designers proposed using vertical bullet trains that would travel at 200 kilometers per hour inside the tower's core. The building was structured as a series of stacked neighborhoods, each 100 floors tall. Several external support towers would twist around the main structure, acting as wind buffers to protect the central spine. Dubai City Tower was announced in 2009, and then disappeared without a trace. No official cancellation, no updates, no explanation, just silence. Most experts believe the project was doomed by cost, engineering challenges, and the financial crash of 2008 to 2010. Others think it was simply a branding exercise, a statement that Dubai planned to remain the world capital of architectural ambition. Either way, the tower exists only in drawings and renderings, a monument to what might have been so. Which of these unreal megastructures would you want to see built? The prefabricated giant in China, the artificial island empire in Azerbaijan, or the mile-high tree-inspired tower designed decades ahead of its time? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into skyscrapers that never made it off the blueprint, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.